I appreciate that, Dr. Bullock. And you know, you drive home a really good point. You said something earlier that I thought was really critical. You guys were talking about budgets, you know, and I'm a firm believer in the idea that budgets are about priorities. And so you show me where you're spending your money, and I'll show you what's important to you. But it reminded me of one of my favorite singers, the great Tupac Amaru Shakur, who said, you know, we got money for wars, but can't feed the poor. And so I want to toss it to our musical mixologist, DJ Double Up, to talk about, you know, as we talk about protests and politics and how it sort of all melds together, you know, we understand that music is a very important component to this. So DJ Double Up, can you talk about some of our musical features tonight and how they fit into this conversation of protest and power?
Well, we always know that there's always a soundtrack to the protest. So the three artists that we kind of picked out today, Common, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, and Tupac Shakur. Everybody knows about Tupac Shakur and the things he did as far as getting involved in politics and wanting to get brothers together with the actual thug life movement, and what it actually started to actually be and what it turned into were two different things. So I wanted to be the dopest. Then I found a higher purpose from Common. Common is an Academy Award winner, Grammy Award winner, Golden Globe winner for his original song from the Selma soundtrack. In 2017, Common performed a series of concerts in several California prisons. This concert tour actually inspired him to found Imagine Justice, which is a nonprofit organization devoted to empowering communities and fighting injustice. And then Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, Wake Up Everybody. McFadden and Whitehead, classic songwriters from Philly. This song called for America to change its approach to the race and the way it treats the least of these, being Black folks. And last but not least, Tupac Shakur, Help Me Raise My Black Nation, Reparations Are Due. Tupac's rhymes were complex narratives humanizing the downtrodden with equal parts of empathy and rage. The famous story of a 12-year-old girl molested by her family and pregnant turned out to be one of his biggest breakout hits, Brenda's Got a Baby. But the question is, these are all old school songs. What is the youth doing? What is the youthful perspective right now, especially from some of the biggest names in music? What is their perspective now? What are they thinking from the youth? And that's kind of what our next musical break is going to be. It's going to be by three of the biggest artists right now in the hip hop game and in the R&B game, The Baby, Little Baby, and Anderson .Paak, all addressing the Black Lives Matter movement and what's going on today in the streets.
Can I just say, I mean, what you did was so masterful right there, and I gotta jump in, you know, as a Philly guy, you know, what we listen to, and I talked to my sons about it, you know, radio programming is just a figure of speech. You know, you hear Dead Prez talk about that, but the reality is the things you hear, that's a constant message in your brain. And so growing up in Philadelphia, you know, my father is the same age as Teddy Pendergrass, obviously lead singer Harold Melvin and Blue Notes, but also I think my father struggled, right? Born in 1950, drafted into the Army in 1970. You think about the height of Vietnam, all stuff that's going on there and all the messages that we're exposed to, right? And I think about as a young person growing up, whether listening to Public Enemy and all the artists at that time. And so I'm also curious as someone who's now in their 40s, what young people are listening to, because I do get concerned sometimes in terms of, you know, what the messages are, but I know those young people also have to speak with their own voice too. So I appreciate you being able to keep it current and consistent.
Absolutely. Well, you know, last week I had made a comment and Dr. Rico had jumped on me about hip hop today. So I made it my business to dig a little bit deeper, listen to a few of these newer artists and really see what they were talking about. And I'm actually very impressed.